In this episode we discover an abbey settlement within eyeshot of our overnight park-up and go on an unexpected guided tour unearthing the history of the Castle Ward house.
Oh, and of course don't miss a rather unique food experience we had.
I think it was built in 1915 and most of its working life was at Wexford. We're heading the short distance across this causeway to check out the Nendram monastic site that we spotted on Google Maps. It's a large site, and as you'd expect, it has a very interesting history. And as you can see, it's a really muddy site today after yesterday's downpour. With the chorus of gulls, you can start to imagine the hard, but I'm sure very peaceful existence that they had at this location. We start by exploring the various walls that encircle the central area. The Nendram monastic site sits on the Mahi Island on Strangford Loch.
This looks like to be the inner part of 3 enclosures as it sits on the hill. In fact, we parked just over there. It's taken us about 10 or 15 minutes to get here because we've had to follow the road inwards, and you can see there's the lighthouse ship we passed. What remains, I guess, of the inner church or religious part. Looks like a tower, I'm guessing. Yeah, it's the base of a round tower, probably built around the 10th century, I reckon. We saw a complete round tower when we did the south tour. I think it was at Ardmore, if I remember right.
Founded in the 5th century by Saint Machawi, this ancient Christian monastery has 3 concentric stone walls, a church ruin, a sundial and a stumpy round tower. The Vikings raided here in 976, reportedly burning the abbot's house.
Yeah, that's the remains of the church in the central enclosure. We head out back the way we came and we decide we need some refreshment, so ideally a hot drink and maybe brunch if we're lucky. We've spotted a place called Fodder in the Woods, not far from Downpatrick, and it looks to have great reviews.
Fortunately, it's not Wednesday. I wanted to come and have a look. They've got a farm shop and a deli. I think they sell their own meat, maybe. Heartbeat of Fairy Light. It's quite a small farm shop, but it looked like it housed high quality produce. The canvas tent gives it this unique contemporary vibe to what was to be one great food experience. And what a great atmosphere, and we've already fallen in love with the place before we've even looked at the food menu. From the smouldering logs to the rustic furniture, someone has done a great job in creating this unique location. The hot drinks and local meat sausage rolls and beans with warming soup makes this an absolute must on your destination list if you're in the area. And indeed, we were still talking about the experience as we reached our next destination, Castle Ward. Castle Ward is a National Trust location, and as members we get free inclusive entry. It really feels like we came on this trip in winter, and now leaving it as the onset of spring has arrived. What a stunning display.
Ready for Easter, I guess.
Our channel relies on your support, so please thinking about liking and subscribing. We're also on social media if you would like to support us further. We have a Buy Me a Coffee link in the description. It's an impressive entrance hall as we wait for an impromptu tour.
The craftsmen who were doing it started in this corner.
And as always, the guide tour really knew his stuff about the history of the place and the people that lived there.
For dinner, really 19th century style. 2 ring bells and summon the servants. Those handles are all connected by a series of wires to a panel of bells which is down in the basement.
They certainly seem to have loved a unique ceiling. This ceiling was mind-blowing in its design, like a Bedouin tent in Morocco. John Betjeman, the poet, compared it to sitting under a cow's udder, which I sort of get. Not that I have, but never say never. Castle Ward is an 820-acre National Trust property, and it's famous for its mansion with 2 distinct styles. One side is neoclassical Palladian, with the other being Georgian Gothic, built in the 1760s because Bernard Ward and his wife Lady Anne couldn't agree on a design, so they did both. Compromise at its finest.
Bernard Ward, the builder of the house, along with his wife Lady Anne. There is a BBC television series called The Hidden Treasures of the National Trust. You can still pick it up on iPlayer, and one episode of it deals with houses in Northern Ireland, and there's a little bit of a story about this painting in that programme. It is quite a good copy, I think, but I believe it's slightly larger than the original.
And we definitely think that their choice of location to build this house was absolutely spot on. Of course, today this is well frowned upon, but back then it was a symbol of wealth and showing off.
So you could learn which one's related to you, I suppose, and then you...
We found our place. This is where Jane and I would be working. Can't beat a bit of copper. Well, we'll leave appropriately by the servants' exit.
So if you're in the area, then it's definitely worth a visit to walk through the grounds or seek out the history of the house.
It's about an hour tour, really interesting. I was a bit like, oh, should we do it, not do it? But I'm glad we did, because it was really interesting. The guy who did it just knew his stuff. Really fascinating story about the history of the house and all the families in there. And the grounds, and I think there's a lorry go by. The ground's got loads of trails which we won't have time to actually explore now. And I think they've done a lot of scenes from Game of Thrones here. There's Winterfell Castle scenes that you'll be able to see. And there's a farm down by the shores, etc. So really, really good.
That's the view, isn't it, that they have from the back of the house? Yeah. There's that little beautiful cottage. And you said they filmed some of the Games of Thrones here?
Yes.
Sorry, it needed one last glimpse of the estate where we were. We're heading to a Target park-up and the weather is absolutely gorgeous. That was what he was rushing for. You have arrived at your destination. Well, we missed that one. But do you know what? We don't care, as the ferries run really regularly. So the chap was just saying we can pay on the ferry, but the water's getting quite high. So he said hopefully we'll make it on. And yesterday it was up way past where we are in the van yesterday.
That's high, isn't it?
Yeah, that is high. Yeah. So highly recommend that house. We had a guide called Robin, and he was just delightful, so knowledgeable, and it was we were a bit housed out. And we didn't want to go, so we just thought we'd have a walk around the house. But then when we went in, because we thought we won't have a tour, and then when we walked in, it became apparent that we felt we had to have a tour. And actually, it was great.
Good.
It was
I
really
enjoyed
good,
it.
really precise, to the point. You know,
it was quite a calming. He wasn't rushed. He just knew all the story. Yeah, he knew all the facts, and he'll answered any questions. And it wasn't a big group. Yeah. The sun's come out today as well, so it's beautiful here at the moment. We're just about to go across to Porter Ferry, so we're catching the Strangford to Porter Ferry ferry, and we can pay. You can just pay on the ferry itself. I think I don't know what it is. I think it's going to be about £7, but we'll see. And hopefully we'll park up in Porter Ferry tonight, because I don't want to really drive any more.
Is that what it's called? It's
called Porter Ferry. The other place is over there.
We've had a good day, really, haven't we?
Yeah. No,
we have good days and bad days.
I'm filmed out as well. You do get to a point when you're filming a trip. I'm sort of a bit filmed out with doing stuff, and that's always a challenge to keep going and making sure you're doing the right things as well. So
yeah,
I'll have to make sense of it when I start producing it somehow. So by the time you see all this, hopefully it'll be all right.
As you can tell, one thing we don't do is film with structure.
Well, we often don't know what we're going to do, quite often, in fairness. We don't know what we're going to come across. So, you know, it's very often I get up in the morning and say, right, the film's going to be this, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. It's quite an unstructured way.
Yeah, that's the way to put it.
May not be the best way, but it's the way it is.
Raw footage. Yeah. And some days you just like, that day we found the little bridge.
You don't know what you're going to. You don't know what's going to be around the corner.
A simple thing on the map, and when we saw it,
and that'll be one of the best bits of footage for that day, probably, because it was just
maybe for the holiday. You
can see the tide coming in there. Can you see?
Yeah, he said it will come in really quick. Yeah.
Yes, I think it runs every half hour, isn't it?
Every hour and
we just literally missed it because we got overtaken by, in fact, the van in front of us. And
Billy Whiz in the front
on the corner. I wonder what the hell's he doing. He was obviously realised the ferry was about to go, and unfortunately he just missed it.
Did you say fortunately?
I said unfortunately.
Oh, I was going to say, you little bitch.
I said unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately he missed it.
And sitting here is an absolute joy. Just looking out across the loch, and we'll share this lovely ferry crossing and also a great town park up in the next episode.